Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our Monday Night Raw review. And I gotta say, guys, Payback Fallout, a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like this Raw, and I've been wanting Raws to do this forever when they have events come up, did an exceptional job of building towards Chamber in 2 weeks. I really, really love the matches that were made, you know, how they built up to them, and the closing segment was really well done. I think that lends itself to some intrigue, and one particular match that got announced on this card I think is going to have everybody watching. Dude, what a great episode tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this episode was above average, to say the least.
Completely agree. I mean, with that said, let's not dawdle on it any longer. Let's get into our first segment, Heat of the Night. I gotta say, bro, I have no heats of the night tonight. I loved, again, all the matches announced and how they were built, towards Elimination Chamber so far. So, yeah, I'm good for tonight.
It honestly surprises me that you don't have a heat of the night tonight.
Yeah, I'm good, man. What about you?
I'm just surprised that you didn't have anything to say about Naomi.
You know what, dude? It's all about that story, it's good. I really feel like she's gonna get her due, and if I was to have
She basically just got leapfrogged.
You know what, though? I don't necessarily think so. I think we're going to get a triple threat at Chamber, as far as that goes.
Well, no, I mean because Paige is going to be the one that wins the title, not her.
I disagree, but that'll be, a discussion, I think, for a little later on. So, yeah, no complaints.
Okay, no, I don't have any heats of the night either.
All right, then let's roll right on through to our Monday Night Raw review, and if you make a drinking game of it, then you know that this Raw opened up with the Authority, so take that shot. We have Triple H and a returning Stephanie McMahon. I really miss Steph, I will say that much.
Yeah.
And they both talk about, Seth Rollins retaining the World WWE Championship and how proud they were of Seth Rollins. I mean, Triple H goes as far as to say, I told you so. And Stephanie pretty much reveals that they're going to have a tribute to Seth Rollins tonight, architect of a dream. And, so they're really just saying Seth Rollins is the future. He did so great last night at Payback, and it's a Seth Rollins love fest. But then they shift focus, they shift gears to the Intercontinental Championship. Stephanie, of course, kind of disses Bryan a little bit. She said, I know how much courage it took for you to say that I was right. And she kind of pokes fun at the fact that, your body just wasn't strong enough to deal with the pressure of being a champion. It's happened to you twice now. 2 injuries led you to sacrifice 2 championships. But at Elimination Chamber, we are going to crown a new Intercontinental Champion. So we know a Chamber match is going to be contested, for that Intercontinental Championship. Sheamus comes out. Huge You Look Stupid chant breaks out. So Sheamus still working that heat. His look has gotten him more mileage than I thought it would. So that's good to see. Of course, he sucks up to the Authority, and he says, guys, we don't need to do an Elimination Chamber match. You're looking at your Intercontinental Champion right here. I mean, I'm the guy that took out Daniel Bryan. In fact, rather than talk about it, let me show you. And we show a video package from SmackDown last month where he really just beats down Bryan, and he says that, he should be Intercontinental Champion, but his campaigning gets interrupted by Ryback. Huge Feed Me More chant breaks out. Ryback seems very over in Richmond tonight. Puts over Bryan, says he has more heart than you could ever hope to have, and he may not be 6 feet tall like us, but he's got more passion than you could ever hope to have, and you took away what he loves. So let me tell you what, since you like picking on little guys, why don't you try picking on the big guy? Oh, and Ryback also had a moment where he cut off Steph, and he said, big guy's talking, Steph, where she tried stepping in. So Ryback was really on point tonight.
Assertive Ryback.
I loved it, man. Really good stuff. I don't think Ryback gets enough credit at times for how he's able to handle, certain atmospheres. But Stephanie then makes the announcement that they're going to get their chance to kind of assert their dominance in the Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship, so both of them will be able to make their case. But Triple H says, I kind of like this weird little thing you two have got going on, so we are going to have Ryback versus Sheamus right now So, I mean, Ash, if there's anything you want to say about this opening segment, we could go right into our first match.
No, I mean, I agree with you. It's nice to have Stephanie McMahon and Triple H kind of back as the primary antagonists because Kane was becoming too likable, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that course is going to change. I just think that'll be kept more in check, I guess, because Triple H and Stephanie are back.
No, I just think that now it's like we actually have a top kind of figure to hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas with Kane, it was like we were supposed to hate him, but he was starting to be more of a good guy, and it just kind of got convoluted. Whereas with McMahon and Triple H, we know clear directive, boo these people.
Right. So then we go to Ryback versus Sheamus. Really fun matchup for me. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was very hard-hitting. We got one of my favorite spots where Ryback catches the bro kick into a powerbomb. That was cool. Ryback sold the ribs really well here because he had them taped up from his match with Bray Wyatt. I don't know if that's a legit injury. I'm thinking it's just a really good sell at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, so fun back and forth. There was even one vicious spot where Ryback military presses Sheamus and he dumps his back on the announce table. This is a very physical matchup. They get back in the ring, and Sheamus uses a heel tactic of thinking he has something in his eye. He's covering it up. Ref's trying to back Ryback off, and while the ref's admonishing Ryback, Sheamus sees an opening. He capitalizes on it with a bro kick, and he gets the win over Ryback. So Sheamus has got momentum heading towards Elimination Chamber. I mean, Ashton, I think you and I have talked about it. We don't know where we're going to be come Elimination Chamber preview and predictions, but I'd say that Sheamus is the early favorite to win this Intercontinental Championship. Anything you want to say about this match?
No. I mean, it was, I don't know. I feel like this could have been a really, really good match, but it didn't really get a ton of time, and they didn't really have that comprehensive a story. Really, it just kind of came down to Ryback is hurt, so this match should basically be thrown out.
Yeah.
It felt like there were one too many examples of that scenario tonight. Like, I feel like the entire roster's banged up, and they just need, like, a couple months to heal up.
Yeah, really. And that's kind of the downside of no off-season. But we then have a backstage segment with the Authority. Seth Rollins, comes in looking all dapper, and he's got a bottle of champagne, and he pours everybody a glass, and he says before he pours Kane's glass, "You deserve this more than anybody after I saved your job last night." So again...
Because now he has something worth celebrating.
Exactly. So again, even though these guys you would think had reconciled, their differences, at Payback and everything, that antagonism still exists. Ambrose crashes the party. And I love Ambrose's logic here because he said, you didn't beat me last night, and last time we were in the ring one-on-one, let me do the math, yeah, I beat you. But then he's trying to make the sell to Rollins because he says, hey, but I'll give you another chance to beat me, but that WWE World Heavyweight Championship's got to be on the line.
Yeah.
The Authority pretty much tells him, you know what, that's not happening. And Kane even says, Seth is best for business, and I just don't see you getting your championship match. So Rollins leaves with J&J Security. I think the Authority exit too, so Ambrose is left alone with Kane. And he's like, what happened to you, man? You used to be a monster. What would Paul Bearer think? What would your brother The Undertaker think? I mean, you went from the Devil's Favorite Demon to Seth Rollins' neutered lapdog. And Kane becomes furious at that. I mean, it's written all over his face.
He even calls him a glorified butler.
Glorified butler, yeah. And he says, don't you ever speak to me that way again. You know what? You want action so bad, tonight you go one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. So we got Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt tonight on Raw. Then we go to another segment. Renee Young interviews Neville. Really loved what Neville had to say here.
Yeah, he's gotten, dude. We say this every time he speaks because it never stops being surprising, but he's gotten really good on the mic.
Absolutely. We know he has a rematch with King Barrett, coming up right after this interview, Renee says, but, she wanted to ask him what it's like being, the WWE superstar and everything like that. He says he's competed all around the world, but nothing compares to competing in WWE. Neville says he may not be the biggest guy and has his share of doubters, but there's nothing he loves more than proving doubters wrong. Neville says he's 10 feet tall and invincible when he's coming off the top rope. And Renee actually...
Until he lands on someone's knees. Then he feels very invincible.
Exactly. But Renee is about to proposition him about being the longest reigning NXT champion, and making that reference, so we have that sense of continuity. But Bo Dallas comes out. And
Dallas was so on point tonight. This, honestly, between him cutting this promo on Neville, And then his time on commentary, he had one of the best nights of the night tonight.
And it's about time, because I feel like this was the start, potentially, and I cannot emphasize that term enough, of Bo Dallas getting back on track. Bo refers to Neville as the little engine that couldn't, and Neville says, hey, Renee, that NXT championship reign you were asking me about? Why don't you ask the man I beat to start it? And then Bo immediately goes after the knee. But then, Neville starts to fight back, so then Bo, goes outside. JBL invites him on commentary, as Ashton noted, and then we get our Neville versus King Barrett matchup. We've seen these guys compete against each other so many times. I enjoy them. I think the real star here, again, to your point, Ashton, was Bo Dallas on commentary. He says,
calling Booker T Mr. T.
Yeah, Mr. T, saying, I'm just trying to make Neville better. He may not have asked me, but he needs me, and all that stuff, and just all the positivity. The missing member of the New Day is Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
The original New Day member, I guess, Bo Dallas. But in the end, Neville's knee is too much to bear. He tries to go for a springboard, but the knee buckles, and then Barrett capitalizes with a bullhammer. So Barrett wins the matchup, and, when Neville's down, Bo comes in the ring, and he just starts viciously assaulting Neville. So, yeah, Bo stands tall. Unfortunately, I'll just say now, Neville did not get in the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match. I really thought he would. I wanted to see a red arrow off a pod so bad. But I think now the new direction is Bo Dallas and Neville, which I don't mind, because you know what? I think this will be a good cool down for Neville so that we can kind of, keep everything easy and he's not pushed too fast. And Bo desperately needs something to do. So actually, I'm cool with this. What about you, bro?
Yeah. It's great that Bo Dallas has been getting more TV time lately, because the people that hate him absolutely despise him, and the people that love him absolutely adore him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's literally the anti-John Cena.
Yeah, he really is. Speaking of which, we didn't
Actually, I shouldn't say an anti-John Cena, because if you think about it, the anti-John Cena would have a 100% crowd reaction.
Yeah, that's...
So I guess that makes him Nega Cena.
Nega Cena. Bo Dallas.
Because the people that cheer for Cena hate Bo, and the people that boo Cena love Bo.
Exactly. But speaking of Cena, even though we didn't get him next, we got the man he beat last night next. Rusev comes out, because apparently there's this big controversy. Rusev speaking in Bulgarian at Payback, and Lana was saying, Rusev says he quits, so there's that whole ambiguity there. But then Rusev comes out, and he says there will be no Lana tonight, because loud Lana chants break out, and fans boo, and says, there is no Lana, and she needs to learn her place. And he says, Lana does not speak for me. I did not quit. And again, fans start chanting Lana louder again. He says, I told you, there is no Lana. Shut up. Like, he is irate. He is incensed.
This whole episode of Raw was crazy. Like, if this was like a baseball stadium, this Raw hit a triple.
Yeah, dude.
It was literally a title change away from a home run.
I'm wondering, because between the Raw that I referred to as a perfect game, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, and now this Raw, like, who is behind this stuff? Because they need to do it, forever.
From what I understand, they've actually been, a lot of these better Raws have been getting a lot of input from Jimmy Jacobs.
Interesting.
That's what I've heard. But yeah, like, you look at tonight, we had a return, a debut, and I think 2 different turns from different people.
Yeah, man.
So, like I said, because normally, like, to me, a home run is a show that has debut, turn, return, championship change. Those are the 4 big, like, holy crap kind of moments that a Raw can have. And this show notched 3 of those 4.
Yeah.
Plus, it did an amazing job of setting up for the next pay-per-view, which it kind of needed to do, given that we only have 2 weeks to build up to it.
Yeah, one person said on Tweetov, and I think it summed up my sentiments perfectly, a pay-per-view that only has a 2-week build, I think just got made in one night, because I'm hyped for Chamber.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is like, I said we had 2 different turns tonight, but the first turn that we really had was kind of, started by the segment that we're about to talk about with Rusev and Lana, because Lana, by the end of the night, was a full-on babyface.
Oh, yeah, and it started here because she comes out, pretty much tries to, assuage Rusev's rage, says, look, I've believed in you, I've been here with you every step of the way, Don't throw this away. I mean, come on, you got to understand, I was only looking out for you. I really thought you were going to be the one to make Cena say I quit. But what was I supposed to do? Just sit and watch you suffer? Rusev turns around, he just starts berating her. He says, you're weak, just like America's weak, and you've been holding me back. I don't need you. You need me. You're pathetic. You're garbage. Like, he really laying into her. And the crowd's, like, really behind Lana. And he says, we're through. I don't need you. I don't need anyone but myself. I'm better without you. And yeah, he berates Lana so bad she does leave, and Rusev, stands tall in the middle of the ring, by himself, and now I guess a man on his lonesome. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like him and Lana are officially done, especially after the events that would precede this segment. We'll get into that a little bit later. This is a very well done segment. Rusev, I think, is still keeping his heat despite, this program with Cena. I think we definitely have Lana to thank for that, and Lana is coming off like this huge baby face. It's amazing to see the reaction she's getting. I don't know what that's going to translate to. If she's going to be kind of like that AJ Lee figure maybe, where she kind of transcends the division a little bit and then maybe later on kind of returns to it and does business there. I don't know, but it's very curious to be sure.
I'm telling you, man, there has been a rumor going around on Reddit, and it's been going around for a while, and it's the same sort of rumor source, I guess you could say, that said something about Kevin Owens showing up tonight. So it's relatively credible that Vince wants to build the Divas division around Lana. He wants her to be the John Cena of the Divas division.
I just hope she can back it up, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm really enjoying the division right now, and I know that's kind of a mixed opinion, like, especially with the return we got tonight. And again, we'll talk about all that in the appropriate segment, but if Lana can kind of polish her skills, kind of like even Marie's doing now, or maybe she has been all this time, I don't know. I just hope she can kind of back it up, because, yeah, Lana could be a huge asset to that division. Let's just hope it doesn't fall on its face. But that's in the future. In the immediate present here, we got Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt. Not really much you could say about this match. If you've seen one match between these two, you've pretty much seen them all. That's not to say it was bad. I enjoyed it. But I will say the only ambiguity that kind of existed was who was going to go over here. Because, Bray did get a victory last night at the pay-per-view, but Ambrose is trying to be in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship picture. So who takes precedence? And apparently the answer to that is Bray Wyatt, because after a great back and forth between these two, closing moments, Ambrose is on the top rope, probably going to go for that elbow drop of his, but J&J security comes in, they push Ambrose off the rope into Sister Abigail, Bray hits it, so Bray Wyatt has now beaten Dean Ambrose. That's 2 victories in the past 24 hours for Bray, so he's starting to build himself back up.
And it's 2 losses for Ambrose in the same amount of time.
Exactly, yeah.
Even though he only was pinned in one of them, he still lost both of them.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I can get behind a Bray Wyatt Intercontinental title run, but it's so weird because of, there are so many guys who, everyone, it seems like on the internet is they want everyone to be in the main event. I feel like Bray Wyatt is just not meant for the main event, at least not right now.
I feel like when he first came in, he was really getting hot and everything, and he had the program. I thought that was a main event tier kind of guy.
Yeah, I guess it's because, to me, Bray is that Undertaker character where he can be in the main event every now and then, but you make more money with him by having him be his own special attraction separate from the main event.
Yeah, really, dude, it's funny because tonight I'm just kind of watching him in there, and it kind of clicked for me that, you were right. I feel like as much as I would love to see Bray Wyatt, haunt and just torment whoever the world champion is and try and take that title for whatever purpose, I just feel like he's beyond the championship. Even when his stock seems low, I think he's still a better fit doing something else other than being in that championship scene. Now, let me say this, though. If that rumored, which it's been rumored forever, but if that babyface turn ever happens for Wyatt, then I think I could get behind him,
Well, that's one of those wait and see kind of things, though.
Yeah.
That's not like, if he turns face, I want him to be a main eventer. No, it's if he turns face, maybe I'll rethink my stance.
I just think, with the authority in place, and they're all about controlling the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, I'm just saying in terms of the presentation. We don't know about execution. You're never going to know that until you see it. But when you think about the structure of everything, then I think it becomes more viable. But as a heel, yeah, he's kind of his own entity doing his own thing. I don't know where he's going to go from here because he didn't even make the cut for the Intercontinental Championship Chamber match unless he, kind of pulls an edge on Kofi Kingston and takes somebody out and takes their spot. I mean, hello, R-Truth.
Who is this that we're talking about?
Beg pardon?
Is this Bray Wyatt that you're talking about?
Yeah, Bray Wyatt, because you said about the
I thought that he was in the Chamber match.
No, he's not. He didn't make the cut.
What? I could have sworn that I saw his graphic.
No, I don't think so. I think it was Ryback, Sheamus.
Right, Ryback, Sheamus, Truth.
R-Truth, Stardust, Dolph
No,
Ziggler.
I don't think Stardust isn't in it, is he?
Oh, no, not Stardust. King Barrett, I think.
Barrett's in it, yeah.
And Ziggler.
Yeah, Ziggler was the last one added, though.
Yeah, so again, Sheamus.
Sheamus, Ryback, R-Truth, King Barrett, Ziggler, and Bray
Rusev.
is in it.
And Rusev.
Is it Rusev?
Yeah, Rusev's the last guy in it.
Oh, wow. I thought Bray was in it.
No, Bray didn't make the cut, so I wonder what he's going to do. Unless, again, he takes R-Truth out, pulls an edge on.
Yeah, I'm not willing to bet on that, though.
I'm not willing to bet on that either, so I don't know what the direction of Bray's going to be going forward. But anyway,
that's really interesting. For some reason I thought that they announced that he was going to be in it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know where he's going to go from here, but yeah, that chamber match is filled up. But wherever Bray goes, I'll be sure to follow. I still love the guy. It's just he's in kind of a weird place. But when has he never been in a weird place, really, these past few months? But after that, we see Rollins kind of laughing as Wyatt celebrates, and then we get, in our next matchup, the Tag Team Championship match, Cesaro and Kidd versus the New Day. Pretty much the New Day comes out, without Xavier, because in this match he is banned from ringside, and they complain about, Xavier not being at ringside, saying it's unfair, that these accusations are unfounded, and then, we have our match. Not really much to say about the match, because, New Day gets disqualified, and everything just starts to fall apart after a little bit. The real intrigue comes, in the post-match, because New Day is beating on Cesaro and Kidd, but then Lucha Dragons come out to make the save. They take it to the New Day. But then after that, who came out next? Actually, wasn't it Los Matadores? I think. Yeah,
because it was Los Matadores. Yeah, that was right.
Then the Ascension come out. They join the fray, and then the completion of the fray are the primetime players
who get a massive pop.
Yeah, they
got such a huge reaction. I was so surprised.
And I gotta say, about time PTP are doing something. Seriously. Like, I was waiting for the payoff.
Well, they've been cutting promos for the last few weeks. It makes sense that they would come back around now.
That is true, but I think I only remember them in, maybe 1 or 2 matches since they've reunited. So, I mean, in ring, it's great to see them doing something. But I was getting ready to say, I'm glad we got a payoff from them mocking all these other tag teams. I think this is going to be a very exciting chamber matchup. And the way it works, guys, is that, teams are going to occupy with one pod. So we got all these teams now. It's going to be very intriguing how this chamber match is going to play out. Now, what's still unclear to me is if a teammate gets pinned, is that entire team eliminated, or is it just, that member of that team eliminated? I'm assuming the whole team's eliminated, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, they definitely need to really expound on the rules.
Yeah, definitely, because, this has never been done before, and there's so much intrigue because of that, but still. I think this match has an insane amount of potential, given that it's in a chamber and you've got really talented guys in there. So, we'll see what happens. But,
absolutely.
Yeah, we find out that Roman Reigns is going to return on SmackDown. Very interesting that they save it for SmackDown. I really thought we were going to see Roman Reigns tonight on Raw. Now, here is my question to you, Ashton. Do you have anything you want to discuss about the John Cena segment, or do you want to just, again, like we did with Sami Zayn, refer everybody to our live reactions?
Everybody go to the live reactions.
I guess the only thing we should talk about with Cena Owens is the announcement that was made later. If you want
Which
to kind of
we'll get to. We'll get to that.
Oh, you want to save that? Okay. But now we get a recap of Daniel Bryan again vacating the Intercontinental Championship. Then our next matchup, Dolph Ziggler versus Stardust.
I really did not like this.
I didn't care for this match at all, and it was so brief.
The thing is, here's the thing, John, is storyline-wise, I really don't have any complaints about tonight. If I could make this a heat of the night, I would say that pretty much every match tonight was freaking boring.
Yeah.
They were all either repeats of something that we've seen way too many times and way too recently, or didn't get enough time, or there was nothing match-wise, in-ring-wise tonight that really caught my attention.
Yeah, I agree. This match especially, again, quicker than a hiccup, as Jim Ross would say.
I mean, I think the crappiest thing is that, like, I don't really want to try and crap on the New Day and Cesaro and Kid, but I do feel like calling them the match of the night tonight, while correct, is a shame, because they got, like, not even, like, 8-10 minutes?
Yeah, really, what made that so memorable, I think, was the post-match, not even, again, the match itself.
And, I mean, the match was good.
I just feel like it didn't even really get out of second gear before the match was thrown out because of DQ.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, they've already had their gems, guys. I mean, go watch Extreme Rules. Go watch Payback.
Last night's match was so much. I don't want to say so much better than Extreme Rules, but I'll definitely say it was my favorite match that they've had together.
And then seeing both teams now locked inside a chamber and Chewie, like, that's got me pumped. It's gonna be insane.
For sure.
But yeah, Ziggler hits the zigzag on Stardust when he tried to go for Crossroads, got kicked in the head, and that's it. Cole comes in to interview Ziggler, and he says, oh, don't look at me, I'm hideous, joking about his stitches, and he says, hey, it hurts, but not nearly as much as losing to Sheamus last night. Then Cole says, well, hey, we found out that you are going to be the sixth and final participant in the Elimination Chamber.
I love how, like, genuine this felt from Cole, too, because it seemed like he really wanted to make Ziggler, like, super happy.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Such a cool moment.
But Ziggler, like, he's pumped up. He's kind of like, celebrating with Cole a little bit. Cole's got a smile on his face.
And then things got awkward.
Yeah, they did. Because Lana comes out. Again, nice pop from the crowd. And ultimately, after some lollygagging, she kisses Dolph Ziggler.
Just like a soft little peck on the lips. Nothing really too serious. But then they're both looking up at the ramp, waiting for something to happen, and nothing happens, and the fans start chanting one more time, and she kisses him again, and it's a little bit longer this time, but nothing too crazy. And then they go both looking up the ramp again, and then Rusev starts coming out, no music or anything, and they cut back to Ziggler, and it's like, oh, okay, there he is. Like, he was expecting him the whole time, but he didn't even act surprised when he came out, and just so awkward, everything.
Yeah, you know what? I was tempted to make this a nitpick, but I don't want to come down hard on anybody here.
No, I think it was just a mistake. Like, I think that he was probably supposed to come out after the first kiss.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like Ziggler and Lana handled themselves as best as they could, given the
situation. That improvisation, though.
Yeah, so actually, if anything, I should commend them, not chastise.
Lana probably only got paid for one of those kisses.
Yeah, Ziggler's like, you know what, that is the bonus on my paycheck.
Yeah,
doing that.
Exactly.
But then, Rusev does come out. He brawls at Ziggler a little bit. He feels like he's taking Ziggler out before he turns his attention to Lana. He starts berating her again.
Although then again, from what I understand, I think the ladies would think that was Lana's payment as well.
Yeah, really.
Because from what I understand, they're a pretty freaking attractive couple. I think most guys would agree that Lana's top-notch appearance-wise, and most ladies say the same about Ziggler. So, power couple incoming.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by this, and I'm guessing now, Ziggler and Rusev is the next thing to go down. It's going to start and maybe even conclude the same night, at Chamber. So it should be interesting. But Lana folds her arms, and then she ultimately slaps Rusev when she can't take it anymore. And then he's seething. Like, I love how Rusev emotes. Like, I don't think I've given him enough credit about that. His facial expressions and his body language is so on point. And he looked like he may have even been about to hurt Lana, but Ziggler steps in with the zigzag. Lana's smiling, and she leaves with Ziggler, and Rusev just loses it. I mean, you talk about a guy that was destroying everybody, undefeated, dominant U.S. champion. What a shitty past 24 hours for Rusev. Really past couple months.
I just kind of have to wonder if either on SmackDown or next Monday night on Raw, if we're going to have a sort of innuendo-laced promo from Ziggler about what ended up happening with him and Lana after they left the show tonight.
Yeah, really. Up next, we have Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus Fandango and Zack Ryder, everybody's favorite failure, and mine.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say everybody's, just specifically your favorite failure.
But yeah, I mean, Rowan and Harper run roughshod over this team, as to be expected. Took a while for Fandango to get the tag to Ryder. I didn't even think Ryder was getting in the match, to be honest.
John thought that Ryder was going to end up turning heel.
Out of frustration of not getting the tag. I mean, hell, that's how Primetime Players broke up. So, but Ryder does get the tag, and he eats the pin. Oh my god, my life. You know what? It's intriguing, Harper and Rowan being back together, because even though they're not in the Chamber matchup, that actually, to me, works all the better because that makes me think that they're going to be just the immediate number one contenders from whoever emerges from that chamber with the titles. So it kind of gives credence a little bit for now. Again, I always save my final judgments for preview and predictions. That New Day may not walk out of that chamber with the championships because Harper and Rowan are looking really impressive, and I think it's only a matter of time before they become contenders for those tag titles. They even got a double team. Harper does a super kick, and then Rowan does the full Nelson slam. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to use going forward. After that, we get the Bella Twins backstage. Stephanie pretty much stops them.
This was one of my favorite moments all night because it prevented something horrible from happening. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, Stephanie congratulates Nikki on being Divas champion. But then she talks about Daniel Bryan, for Brie. Says, I know what a hard time it's been for you. And, the physical and emotional welfare of our WWE superstars are a top priority. And Brie, I'm concerned about you. So I've scheduled some counseling sessions for you. And because of that, you won't be able to accompany Nikki tonight. And so I'm thinking, oh my God, finally it's going to happen. Naomi's going to become Divas champion. And that's the perfect reaction because then we go to Naomi versus Nikki Bella.
Wait a minute. Let me establish Stephanie McMahon was a total babyface in that moment.
Why do you say that?
Because she prevented us from having to hear, yeah, come on, Nikki, for 8 minutes.
Yeah, that is what she does.
Oh my God, it's the worst. I kind of strangle her when she does that.
I know. You could have pulled my hair out or what little is left on my head here with this matchup because
a little bit less strangle, maybe. I don't know. Between the come on Nikki and the rebound in the middle of the match, just sew your mouth shut, Brie. Seriously.
Yeah. Human ear cancer, Brie Bella.
I mean, seriously, she's supposed to be a baby face, and she's that obnoxious.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But not as bad, at least to me, as this. Naomi versus Nikki Bella. I think,
So is Tamina now a heel in your eyes?
No. What Tamina is just, a problem that's going to be solved, hopefully, soon. But, yeah, to Ashton's point, if anybody doesn't know what he's talking about, Nikki was closing in on a victory, even without Brie, which makes no sense because then what about Extreme Rules? But I digress. And Tamina super kicks Nikki in the face, gets the match thrown out. They're putting the boots to Nikki. Then Paige comes out. She pretty much, clears the ring of those guys. They hightail it. Then she looks like she's going to help Nikki, and then she drops her with the Rampage and hoists up her Divas Championship. Paige is owed a Divas Championship match for winning that Battle Royal, and unlike Naomi, she's probably not going to have to jump through hoops to get it. Not that I mind. Paige is amazing. But I'm thinking triple threat at Chamber where Naomi is finally going to win the Divas Championship and Paige is going to have to chase her for it, hopefully. Then again, I've been wanting Naomi to be Divas Champion forever, and look where we are. So, yeah. Didn't care too much for that segment.
I know. I was seriously counting on you making that a heat of the night.
No, I'm trying to be mature about it, man, because I still have hope. And even if I didn't have hope, our heat of the night is for very specific things. And we even said no divas, so I can't.
That's true, yeah. But you know what, though? Here's my thing. The best part of this segment wasn't the match.
It was the return.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Great to see Paige back. And if I am right and we get a triple threat, regardless of the outcome, I do think that can deliver. You got 3 great people in there, so I'm excited.
I don't know, man. Nikki Bella did totally pin Naomi at the pay-per-view.
Well, don't you mean Naomi pinned Nikki?
Oh, no, wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I had that switched around. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So maybe, yeah. Triple threat makes sense. I don't know why I had in my mind that Nikki won, but maybe just because I picked it. I don't know. My ego is taking over. But, yeah, triple threat. That being said, that does make sense.
I ain't giving up on my girl Naomi. We're going to get it eventually. Right when Naomi's about to retire and then they finally decide to put it on her. We'll get it. But yeah, we get a recap of Cena and Owens from earlier. Again, guys, check out our live reactions. It was epic. That whole segment was so well done. And Triple H is backstage congratulating Owens. And then Renee Young walks up to Owens and asks him what he was talking to Triple H about. And then Owens reveals he will face John Cena at Elimination Chamber. And Owens tells Cena he should pay attention to what he does to Sami Zayn at TakeOver. Oh, God, Ashton, it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
But see, here's the thing, dude. From what I'm reading, it is a non-title match. The U.S. Championship isn't at stake.
That's silly.
Well, here's the thing, dude. I don't want to give away too much because, again, we said we weren't even going to talk about that segment anyway because of our live reactions. But, I mean, Owens did kind of step on the U.S. Championship.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. And he's not interested in it. Yeah. Although, you know what? Between now and next Monday, if Owens loses the NXT Championship, he could be in the market for winning the U.S. title.
Absolutely. I just feel like we're going to get, and I love this even more, though, because I personally feel like it's just going to be a champion versus champion, NXT versus WWE kind of deal.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it is non-title, I'm liking Owens' chances, brother.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely agree with you.
I really am.
You know what, though? That's the thing, is that I liked Owens' chances even when I thought it was for the title, just because I feel like he could win the U.S. title and then be stripped of the NXT title. And since Sami Zayn would be, I don't know if kayfabe or legit, but either way he's injured, we would have like a tournament-style thing to set up for a new champion in NXT. It would just be awesome all around.
Yeah, I just feel like, if that were to happen, you should just give, what was that?
I was just going to say, and it would set up a scenario where Kevin Owens never lost the NXT title, so it makes him look like $1 billion.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I feel like whoever wins between Balor Breeze would probably come out and be like, screw your tournament, give me my title.
You mean Balor Breeze Joe?
That will have to remain to be seen. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night when we do NXT TakeOver Unstoppable preview and predictions.
Absolutely.
But for now, let's talk about the main event segment, Architect of a Dream.
Almost as good as Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that movie was insane.
And I'm actually surprised you've seen that movie.
Oh, dude. It leaves you scarred, man. But Triple H, Kane, and Stephanie all in the ring. They introduce Seth Rollins, the Architect, for a big celebration. He comes out. Triple H just puts Rollins over the moon. He even goes as far as to say, when I look at you, I see a reflection of the Cerebral Assassin. Says, he got goosebumps with that pedigree win at Payback, and that he really is the future, and they were right to trust in him. Then he says, we're going to go around, and we're going to have everybody say something about Seth Rollins. We're going to start with Kane. And then Kane, he looks really frustrated, like he has to just choke the words out. Says, there are a million things I could say right now. A Justin Bieber chant, breaks out because Kane started that whole trend. And he says, everybody knows we haven't seen eye to eye, but how could we when I'm a foot taller than you? And if you strained your ear hard enough, you could hear Ryback and Catering, heh, heh. But then he says, but I was wrong, and you really are best for business. And to prove how sincere I am about that, I made you this video package. And honestly, Ashton, I was thinking the video was going to be really showing all the times that Kane has helped Seth and making Seth look pathetic. It was actually a legitimately well-done video package. I know.
Kane has clearly been working on his Adobe After Effects.
Absolutely. Using that Final Cut Pro as well. I mean, just crazy.
Well, they're just the same function, different softwares.
There you go. But Kane thanks Rollins for saving his job. And all that whole thing. Rollins, appears touched, but of course he's a heel, so he's going to, laugh it off like a douche.
Oh, yeah.
Noble talks about
yeah,
exactly. Noble talks about what a privilege it's been being at Seth's side, and that, he is the future. And, we have a saying in the sophisticated part of Virginia, boo! The cream rises to the top, and Joey's pretty emotional, but he's got something to say. Come on, Joey. And Joey, he looks all choked up. Seth's like, oh, come on, man, it's okay. And then Joey's about to speak. We're about to get our minds blown when Dean Ambrose comes out. Nice work here from him. The only thing I didn't like, he went for, the kind of cheap pop. He's like, I was out trying to look for the best Justin Bieber album for Seth, but I came up empty. But he says, I want my title match or else. So he's trying to proposition that. They all tell him he's crazy. And Rollins is like, what part of get to the back of the line with Reigns and Orton don't you understand? Ambrose is like, well, I'm a notorious line jumper. And then, of course, he threatens them. But this is where Stephanie has the line of the night.
I love how nonchalant you are. And, of course, he threatens them. No big deal. And moving on.
Well, yeah, it's Dean freaking Ambrose. If he's not threatening you, something is clearly wrong with him. Like, this is just the way he is. But then Stephanie has the line of the night. Because she's like, Who the hell do you think you are making demands? You know what, we're not intimidated by you. And you know what, neither is Seth, actually. Even though he doesn't owe you anything, he won't be intimidated by your threats. Seth, get him! She backs up. And Seth just kind of looks at him like, come on, guys, we talked about this. I thought I wasn't going to be the Orton in this anymore. I thought we're on the same page. But he, starts to take his clothes off so he could, be better suited to compete. And they start to brawl. Dean quickly gets the upper hand. J&J Security, it takes him a millisecond to get involved. Ambrose isolates him, takes everybody out. And then I loved what he did here to get his title match, because he reveals the cinder blocks, and he has Seth underneath his boot, and he's holding a steel chair, so he's going to do like a concerto-style maneuver to Seth on the cinder blocks. The Authority's freaking out because, oh my God, our champion's looking like a complete disgrace out there. And Stephanie's just like, okay, if you don't hurt him, you've got your WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Chamber. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And Dean just got this face like, oh, I'm going to give it to him. And he raises the chair. He's about to hit Seth with it, but Joey Mercury intervenes. Ambrose takes J&J Security out again. Then he looks at Rollins. He gets him back in the ring. They're going at it a little bit more, but then Kane comes in. He gets a boot. He's about to go for a choke slam, and Ambrose moves out of it. Looks like he's going to get dirty deeds on Kane. Rollins jumps in again, and then, interesting way to close, he hits the pedigree on Ambrose, and he poses with the championship, gets in Ambrose's face, says, I'm the man around here. You understand? I'm the man. And so that's how the show closes. Do you feel like, Ashton, until this all these court cases revolving concussions get dropped, that Rollins will be adopting the pedigree as his finisher as kind of an ode to Triple H?
I think he's going to be using it for I'm going to just say indefinitely, because I don't even know if he'll drop it even when the court cases do go away. I think it might have just been like a passing of the torch kind of thing.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm not opposed to it either. I mean, I love the curb stomp, and I was going to learn to love that whole face planting kind of DDT maneuver he had going on. But the pedigree, I just think is perfect, because Triple H, with the whole line about reflection and everything, they really are trying to make Seth Rollins, that second coming of the cerebral assassin. And I could get behind it, because I think Seth Rollins is still unique enough that we can't all point and say, oh, look, he's a carbon copy of Triple H. So I'm cool with it. Don't know necessarily how I feel about Rollins standing tall when Ambrose had all this momentum and then he gets shut down. But you know what? They are heels. So I think Ambrose, on the go-home Raw before Chamber, he'll get the last laugh and build that momentum. But yeah, very good episode of Raw as far as segments and story build and pay-per-view build and all that stuff. Very well done.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before we get into our next segment?
No.
All right, let's get into our next segment. High spots and low shots. My low shot is Rusev, because he may be in the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber, but at Payback he lost his matchup, and tonight he thought he could just berate Lana, impose his will and have no consequences, and yet not even 24 hours later after that, he sees her with another man in Dolph Ziggler, and he has just left incensed, and Ziggler left him embarrassed after a zigzag. Things have gone from bad to worse for Rusev, and he's had a really crappy night tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I'm going to give my low shot to Neville.
Good choice.
He's had a pretty rough couple days.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. Nothing more to say than that. I am so torn on High Spot this week.
Well, and honestly, I was even going to say, to me, my low shot, it came down to Neville and Ambrose, because they both lost both of their matches.
Yeah, that's true. But
although technically Neville did win yesterday, it was just by count out.
Yeah.
So you know what? Yeah, I will say my low shot's Dean Ambrose, because even though he got a title shot tonight, he lost to Rollins last night thanks to the pin on Orton. And he lost to Bray Wyatt tonight, so he's got literally no momentum aside from the fact that he was just granted a title match out of nowhere.
And see, that's the funny thing, because we have a TWitWoW first, because I'm going to make Ambrose my high spot. So
just because he got the title shot.
Ambrose set out to do something, and he did it because he's insane. And yes, he ate dirt, but even commentary noted he was willing to pay that price. So honestly, here's a guy that loses, and then in the same sneeze, he is going to be on a network special competing for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You know, whereas Bray Wyatt, he's not in that spot, and he beat Ambrose tonight. Roman Reigns isn't in that spot, and he didn't get pinned either. And he looked dominant. There was actually a point he was going to win the damn thing. So Ambrose, I think, is coming out smelling like roses. And for that, I just got to give him my high spot, despite the rough patch he had to endure to get there. So very interesting dynamic. He's your low shot, but my high spot. So who's your high spot?
Oh, man. You're kind of handing this over to me. It's so weird that you picked Ambrose for a high spot just because he got a title shot.
Yeah, well, he set out to do it, man, again.
Well, I mean, yeah, he set out to do it, but, like, he had such a rough last, 24 hours other than that.
But he still got there. You know, and that's the thing. Like, it shouldn't even really matter where he's been, because where he's going is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Like, if anybody should be feeling low, it should be the Bray Wyatts, because he's won 2 matches, and he's got shit to do on this card right now. Right. Ambrose lost both of his matches, and he's still getting another match because he's appealing to the fact that he beat Seth one-on-one. Yeah. So, getting it done, man.
All right. Well, I think that my high spot is going to be Dolph Ziggler.
Interesting. You know what, dude? I really thought, because honestly, another reason I picked Ambrose, I thought one of us was going to pick Kevin Owens. And I thought you were
I would have given it to Kevin Owens, but he didn't even have a match tonight, and I really struggled to give a high spot to someone that didn't have a match.
That's a good point. His segment was so good, though.
Yeah. I forget. Who did Dolph Ziggler even beat? R-Truth or Stardust?
He beat Stardust, and then...
Yeah. But it was like borderline squash style.
Yeah.
And then he made out with Lana.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, pretty easy high spot. And he's in the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber, so yeah, pretty much win all around for Ziggler.
And really, it's not just about the Intercontinental, but if you're Ziggler, I mean, you got to be chomping at the bit to just get your hands one more time on Sheamus. And Sheamus is in the same matchup.
Yeah.
So Ziggler's got to be feeling pretty good right now.
And, I mean, if we want to go back to last night, even though he did lose, he did totally get Sheamus to kiss his arse, which is something that he'd been kind of trying to cash in on for a while.
Yeah, that was actually Dolph's whole, kind of his purpose, really, was to come and collect. So yeah, Dolph, even despite the loss at Payback, he's looking really good right now.
For sure.
But,
and he might even have a freaking valet now.
Yeah, really. So, excellent choice of high spot. And now we go to our next segment, Raw Request. I kind of want to be funny and say my Raw request is that Jimmy Jacobs is never allowed to leave, if the rumors are true, because this Raw was really fun. But, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say that my Raw request, I give a good bit of time to the tag teams for Chamber, because I feel like the Intercontinental Championship kind of builds itself because of all these intermingling feuds. I feel like the tag team division is kind of in a more interesting place because you've had the primetime players mock a lot of the teams in this match. In fact, I think every team in this match. And New Day and Kid and Cesaro have their issues. But, I want to see more from, Los Matadores, from Lucha Dragons, and really build everybody. So I'd like to see the tag team matchup get quite a bit of build throughout the night on the next Raw. So we'll see if that occurs.
Yeah, I agree.
Your Raw request?
I was just going to say, I sign on to your Raw request. But yeah, my Raw request, let's see. I was going to say something about finishes, but that was more for the pay-per-view than Raw. So my Raw request is just going to be, I know that it's really difficult to maintain the kind of momentum that Cena's open challenges have had, but just try not to let it die down too much.
Yeah.
Like, I was horrified that tonight it was going to be like Jimmy Wang Yang or something so stupid like that. Like, I can understand if you're going to start doing returns, that would be cool, but make it like cool returns. Like, one night only, oh my god, I can't believe this guy's wrestling tonight kind of stuff. Not Jimmy Wang Yang.
I kind of even joked with Ashton, how funny would it have been if Muhammad Hassan answered the call?
Yeah.
With all the USA chants and everything. I feel like it would have been so perfect for one night only. But yeah, I completely agree with you, Ashton. And you know what, though? Like, times like this, because they have done this like a few times now where John Cena really doesn't defend the championship, but it's more about, I don't know, putting like an angle or something over, and we kind of saw that here with Kevin Owens, and now they're going to have a match at Chamber, which, my God, what a freaking rub for Owens, whatever's happening with his future. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love the segment. I feel like I'm okay with us not getting an open challenge if you kind of further some other story, or you make somebody look good, and they achieve both here with Kevin Owens. I mean, this guy is a monster. So really love that, but I completely agree with you. This is one of the best things consistently on Raw. Again, I'd be curious to see the ratings numbers in particular for this segment, like how many people tune in, because week after week it becomes the highlight. And hell, even though it didn't become an official matchup, I'd say it was still the highlight tonight. Just absolutely brilliantly executed on both sides. And yeah, just keep it up. And I still have my money on Neville ultimately being the winner of this challenge and becoming U.S. champion, but we shall see.
Yep, absolutely. Man, what a crazy freaking couple of weeks between Raw, the pay-per-view, and Raw tonight.
Absolutely, which only leaves us with one segment left.
You know it.
30-second hot seat. So, Ashton, what do you got for me this week?
I'm going to make this one really simple, all right?
All right.
We are going to be getting a lot of championship matches at Elimination Chamber. We've got Ambrose Rollins. We've got, we'll just assume triple threat, Nikki Bella, Naomi, and Paige. We've got the Elimination Chamber for the tag titles, the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental title, and potentially, I'm not going to say for sure, but potentially Cena Owens for the U.S. title. All I want you to do is tell me, I don't need any details or anything like that. Just tell me who is going to be walking out of each of those matches with their respective championships, all right?
Okay.
You have 30 seconds, and your time starts now.
Seth Rollins, still WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Naomi, New Divas Champion. I'm going to say PTP, New Tag Team Champions. Cena, still U.S. Champion. Sheamus, New Intercontinental Champion.
15 seconds, and you managed to do them all. Good job.
Yeah, PTP is a bit of a risk, and I may change that when we do.
I probably would have picked them too in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I don't. That one's gonna be a really tough one to call, man. But with that said, you have anything else you want to say about this Raw?
No, I mean it's awesome because we've had 2 consecutive weeks of pretty. Or no, last week was just barely above average. It was the week before that was crazy awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, we had a great, an above average, and a really good.
Yeah.
And the pay-per-view, aside from the dumb finishes, was really good too.
Yeah, WWE's got a little bit of a rhythm going. It's nice to see.
It is. I'm looking forward to the road to SummerSlam, which every now and then I actually enjoy more than the road to WrestleMania.
Oh, dude, Money in the Bank next month. That's
I know.
Where my mind is.
The crazy thing is, we have Elimination Chamber not this coming Sunday, but the next. And then 2 weeks after that, we have Money in the Bank. Like, boom, boom, there it is.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Crazy.
So, with that said, guys, this has been Raw. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. What did you think of Raw this week? What did you think of the John Cena, Kevin Owens segment? What was your favorite part overall of Monday Night Raw? And who do you got emerging from the very first Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber with the gold? Be sure to take the conversation over to TWitWoW, an amazing pro wrestling group on Facebook, some of the most passionate wrestling fans you will ever see. However, if you're more of a minimalist and you want to keep the conversation to myself and the cohort and commentary here, you can also take it to our TWitWoW subreddit.
Yeah, guys, seriously, we have 7 subscribers on there as opposed to nearly 500 on YouTube. I think you can do better than this on Reddit.
Exactly. Give us some love, guys. Give us some love. But guys, we have some loaded content coming up for you because it starts tomorrow with our NXT TakeOver Unstoppable preview and predictions. Gonna have some great discussions with Ashton here about that. Then, on Wednesday, you have got NXT TakeOver Unstoppable live reactions, but don't you worry, because we still have you covered with our Lucha Underground review. But then after that, what is it, Ashton? Sunday we've got the World Cup, the Mexico World Cup live reactions?
Yep.
Yeah, so it is going to be a stacked week, and then the week after that gets even crazier. But focusing on this week, that's all the content you have to look forward to. So again, we will see you again for our Unstoppable preview and predictions. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn 2 for the championship. Who do we think will emerge victorious? All those questions and more will be answered tomorrow night. Until then, tune in and peace out.